Okay, I want to go over how these skills that we learned in the navigation course don't only apply to a wilderness setting. They apply to, you can use these in an urban setting as well. And if you haven't taken that course, I highly recommend it. That way you'll kind of know what we're talking about. But let's go into how you can use some of those things like the handrails, the backstops, the baselines, aiming off, and all of that stuff in an urban situation or a bug in situation where you're at work or you're someplace and you need to get to your bug out location, your home, wherever your supplies are. So let's say that, right now, let's say we're working right here. And what's going on is, in this area, we'll say this is, I don't know, maybe it's a Walmart or something like that. And there's just madness going on here. And we want to avoid this area right here. And the place we want to get to is over here somewhere. And I usually split it up into three zones. I've got the first zone, which would be the 20-mile radius from, where I work or anything like that. Then the second zone, which is in between where I work and my home. And then the final zone, which is my destination, the home stretch kind of. So in this situation, we could travel from point A to point B, but if we did that in a straight line, we would be going right through the danger zone. And this is something we want to avoid. So we might want to think about maybe coming down this way and then going over this way, or coming up this way off the map and then going around this way. I'm gonna clear some of these out so it doesn't look so crazy. But for this example, we're gonna think about the route we want to take. So what we would want to do is maybe travel down this way and to get out of that danger zone. And we see kind of an underpass right here, or the train tracks, and then maybe we would come over, and in this area we can see that there's a few spots that we can either stay out of public view, stay away from the people, or maybe even hide out for a little bit if we needed to. Now keep in mind that when you're in areas like this, if this is private property, some people might not take too kindly to you being on their property, and if they have handguns or anything like that, that might become a tricky situation. So just keep that in mind as well. But that's a good reason to kind of scout out the area that you work in and drive different routes and just kind of look at the neighborhood and see what it's like. But if we came down this way, like I said, there's maybe some places to hide here, or maybe you could come tuck yourself back in here, or just travel along this path and kind of stay out of sight, maybe getting to the river. But the reason why you need those navigation skills is because it's easy to get turned around in a situation like this in an area that you're not familiar with. It could be easy to get turned around where you think that, north is this way, but you think that north is down this way. So as you get to this point, you see the river right here, and you're thinking to run down this way because here's the bridge, where in reality, the direction that you need to go is up this way. So what we need to do is have these navigation skills to understand that once we get down here, that we need to go that way. Because like I said, if we go this way and maybe we cross this bridge right here and we come over here, there could be a whole different situation going on right here, riots or anything else, and something that we really don't want to be in at that point. So if we knew some of these skills like the handrails and the backstops and the baselines, what we can do is, let me get rid of a couple of these. What we can do is know that, okay, this road right here is going to be a backstop for us, and this river right here is going to be a backstop for us too. So we know that once we get down here to this area, that all we have to do is find this backstop, this red backstop right here where the river meets the road, and then we can travel up this way. And then once we get there, we can decide whether we want to cross this bridge, whether we want to travel up further. Maybe it looks like there's a little berm. This might be a good spot to cross the river, or maybe even straight under the river. These are things that you're just going to have to kind of make those decisions as you go. But at least you'll be going this direction. And you can use this river as a handrail, so to speak. So you can travel up this river to your destination, or maybe you travel on this side of the river because there's a ball fields right here, there's a lake, so this might be pretty secluded over here, depending on these trails. So you could take this and use this as a handrail, and you know that if you just follow this trail up, then eventually you're going to get to your location right there. So that's kind of a lot of things to think about when you're in an urban setting, because you don't want to be on the main roads. You want to avoid the main routes, and you want to avoid those hot spots. And if you travel, it might take you a little bit longer to travel this direction and then go up to your location, but it's going to take you even longer if say you're traveling on this road and then all of a sudden there's a big blockage right here and there's nothing you can do about it and you have to turn around. And it's also going to take you longer if you get to, say, this point down here, and instead of going north, you take off south thinking this is the way to your location. And then, like I said, if you go over here, you're going to end up it's possible you could end up in a situation that you don't want to be in, or just the fact that it's going to take you longer to readjust your route and figure out where you are. And we only have so many supplies and only a certain amount of time. We want to get there as quickly as possible. So scouting out your route, knowing which ways to navigate and doing all that stuff is critical when you're trying to get out of that hot zone and try to get to level 2 of your route from where you work or wherever, your bug in route, to that level 2, which is a little bit safer. Could be, you never know what's along those routes, and then try to get to level 3. So like I said, if you haven't taken the navigation course, it goes into a lot more detail, and we have some downloads and all that. So I'll leave a link below this video so you can check that out too. But it'll give you a good idea about how to read maps and use the compass and your sense of direction and all of that stuff. So I appreciate everybody, and we will talk to you later.